So we're working on the fuel system of our Oldsmobile S71 project. This car is going to be powered by a fast fuel injected Bullseye turbocharged 420 some cubic inch Oldsmobile V8 motor built by BTR Performance, which means it's going to make a lot of power, but it's also going to require a lot of fuel to get the job done. So today we're kind of blocking things out. This is a reproduction fuel tank we got from year one, and it's brand new. It's never had fuel in it. So we're confident that we can safely weld a sump on the back of the tank, which is going to create a low spot where we can attach some fuel lines to. And to power the whole fuel system, we're going to be using the fast fuel system in a box. And that's basically exactly what it sounds like. Fast teamed up with Aeromotive, which is one of the leaders in fuel system technology, to create this fuel system in a box. And these are all the parts. This is the fast fuel pump, which is very similar and in design to an Aeromotive A1000, so it might be kind of familiar looking. And it also comes with a pair of filters. This is an inlet filter, which filters the gas coming from the tank into the pump. And then on the other side of the pump is going to be an outlet filter. And the difference between these two, this one is a 10 micron filter, and the inlet filter is a 100 micron to keep all the nasty stuff out of the pump, but our stuff's all brand new, so it should be clean. And then next on the chart here is the fuel regulator, and this is an adjustable fuel pressure regulator, and on the side it's got a port so it can be boost referenced with the turbo system. And it's got another little port up on top here for a fuel pressure gauge. And then finally we've got a Y block, which allows us to connect a single fuel line to a pair of different fuel rails. And the system also comes with everything you need to wire it up in this box. There's some relays and connectors and power wire and zip ties and everything. So it really is a complete deal. And it comes with all these fittings that you see here. Some of them are already screwed in, like on the Y block. I've got them kind of screwed in there. But these are interesting. If you look at this fitting, it's kind of a hybrid. It's an AN style on one side, and then it's an AN thread on the other side, but it's cut flat with an O-ring. So the instructions tell you how to do it, but it's important to put the right end into each piece. The AN side has that 37-degree flare, and that's what connects to the hose. So if you're not familiar with using fittings and the terms AN and NPT and all that stuff, it can get kind of confusing. So we keep a cheat sheet in here. This is actually a page ripped out of the Earl's catalog, out of their tech section. And it's got a chart with all the different sizes of AN fittings on the top. And then on the bottom, it's got a chart for NPT threads. And the main difference is AN, they call them Army, Navy, that's what the AN stands for. These have this 37-degree flare on the end of the fitting, and that's what makes the seal. National Pipe Thread, or NPT, is tapered. The whole fitting is tapered, and that's what seals on these. So these are the fittings that some people use like Teflon thread tape on. You never want to use that on an AN thread because you need it to tighten down so that this cone will engage with the other part of the fitting and make a seal. And this is accurate, so if you don't know what size this fitting is, you can hold it up and match it up to what it is, and this happens to be a -10, and now you know what fitting size you've got. Now the trick to the math on these things is if you envision that these are all fractions, and these numbers are the top number, and then your line, and then the bottom number would be 16ths, okay? So -10 is actually 10/16. And if you remember your 7th grade math, 10/16 reduces to 5/8, and that's the size of the fitting. 8/16 is equivalent to 1/2 inch. 12/16 is equivalent to 3/4. But don't worry, the Earl's chart has a little cheat sheet up here for that also. So you can see like here a -6 reduces to 3/8, and here's the equivalent thread size. So this kind of takes the confusion out of AN fittings. Once you play with them for a little while, you get the feel and you'll be able to tell which is which. So if you're going to be doing a lot of work with AN fittings, the only thing you might want to pick up is a set of AN dedicated wrenches, like this kit we got from Summit. They're all pretty colors, but they're all sized. They've got the number, right on the wrench that shows what size they are, and they're made of soft aluminum because these fittings, let's face it, they're not cheap, and usually they come in pretty colors. These are black. We like the Earl's Anotough fittings. Those are all black, and you don't want to put a steel wrench on them and scratch them all up. That's why I use the aluminum wrenches. So that's AN fittings basically 101 and our fast fuel system in a box.